I hate summaries of Nietzsche. How much more blatant could it be that there is such a presence of artificial intelligence in this day and time than the literal implementation of artificial intelligence, even naming it so? How is it that on a main stage, we allow so many of these mockeries of ourselves to occur, and then we accept these mockeries by using them for ourselves? I see it as a form of deflection. When I first encountered artificial intelligence, I saw it as simply the fad that it is, especially in the realm of feeding it general information. Of course, there is something intriguing about getting bombarded with a bunch of letters after pressing enter upon engaging a device with a prompt, but the excitement quickly goes away, especially if you are already in touch with the beauty and the blessing of your own spirit. It is evident that a chief reason why the general populace is constantly in the position of getting bent over and inseminated by the will of greater society is because the majority of us are not as literate or conscious of our own capacity or potential as we could be. There are a number of reasons for this, but at the end of the day, who really suffers more than those who are not mocked and have actually been appreciating the works of humanity? When you go ahead and consume your 15th Nietzsche related content piece, do you ever say to yourself, man, I should read this guy's work? And if you have begun reading the work, do you ever go back to it and finish it? Surely, the ending of meaningful works have finales that are as significant as the rest of the story, because after all, it has to summate what its intent was and address its audience. But so many people align with Nietzsche because they first encounter the base object of nihilism, which, as the object itself, seems to serve as a justification for immaturity. Of course, when you don't know much of anything to begin with, it's easy to grasp as a base that there is nothing to know, that life is worthless and pointless. You've been getting by with fake laughs and cheap entertainment with your peers who you don't really understand, but are predictable because of the manifested expectations of the social environment. And through your social involvement, you have been greatly removed from solitude, which would surely afford you the room to actually do something that you actually find interesting. Social intelligence is nothing. There is nothing to gain from depending on others for action, especially when you're all depending on each other for that action. What is always beautiful is that because of our capacity for communication, which as a basis was not created by any of us, we have the ability to meet at certain intersections of information and find ourselves in agreement. But when we can all relate to the essence of an object, does that not render the object with a certain commonality to render it elementary? So many people cling on to Nietzsche's words as if he were a god. And yet, just as quoted in Isaiah 29:13, and the Lord said, because this people draw near with their mouth and honor me with their lips, while their hearts are far from me, and their fear of me is a commandment taught by men. My number one absolute favorite book is Thus Spake Zarathustra by Friedrich Nietzsche. And trust, I didn't become more nihilistic because of the book. Actually, I became more accountable, more appreciative of life because of the creation of this book. I listen to the AI generated pessimistic, melancholic videos and read the articles which claim to know Nietzsche's philosophy, trying to sum up his words while also trying to protect people's perceptions, leaving them even more ignorant than they came. And the only thing that I notice is the overwhelming inauthenticity and disingenuous nature of the dissemination of our content. If there is one thing that I can absolutely leave all of us with, and I will inevitably be returning to this point in the future, it is that you can do nothing without having time for silence and darkness and solitude. If you ever knew what a true friend was, it would be after acquiring the knowledge that it is necessary to show you the potential that lies within us all. There, you would appreciate good work when you see it, the spirit when it is present, And you would also understand why Friedrich Nietzsche's works and thought processes are important to any of us. I am warning you that remaining in the idea of nihilism is not indicative of some sort of transcendence of intelligence. You are saying nothing but that you are a misanthrope and are ungrateful for life. And you can only truly come out of this state by getting away from the tyranny and subjugation of social dependence and strengthening your faith in humanity by embracing the works that truly could only have come by with the same solitude and distance from others that you would have to flex in order to complete it. I promise you will come out refreshed and improved, stronger even. No summary or employment of artificial intelligence can replicate this. The artificial intelligence has inherent biases that are embedded in its creation, much like we are plagued by our own biases. But we at least can be impregnated by new ideas and have our worlds expanded in a way that isn't as stringent as the inputs engraved into the artificial intelligence by someone else's work. Of course, all things that are entities are and must be regulated to certain extents. And of course, in the realm of artificial intelligence, these are social regulations. Even in the realm of receiving direct information, the artificial intelligence is built to block out some certain things. Even when we ask it to provide direct sources in many cases, it is still beset by copyright limitations. Copyright, another measure that we have created to protect the works of individuals who contribute meaningfully to our society, because people are ungrateful as it is, but they would meticulously steal and pick out things to justify whatever they believe. If you want to be dumb, then you should be allowed to do it. But such people, particularly in today's day and age, need help with realizing their true place in society, because it certainly should not be among learned men discussing progress. There is a second part to this discussion that I will be posting right after this one, which serves as the ultimate inspiration for what made me make this um, piece of content. So let's get into that.